Hello, all you beautiful, beautiful people. I'm in a good mood because Celtic have found a way to win at all costs today against St Johnstone. 3-1. We have beaten, for me, the poorest side in the league and everything in the world, Stevie, as well.
I know, but I've got to go and sort some Lego stuff out, so that's not exactly great. And it's one of the big, massive Super Mario airship things, so spare a thought, please, Hamish.
I do. I mean, I found myself in the Lego Superstore in Edinburgh, St James's Quarter last week, and it was one of the worst half an hours of my life. Worse than that second half today, or certainly most of that second half today. So I do have, my thoughts are with you, and I speak for everyone else watching this. Their thoughts are with you as well, Stevie. But we're here to talk about football, not Lego, mate. So let's just do that. A big win for Celtic today. We'll obviously get into all the nooks and crannies of what happened today, but just kind of overall early thoughts.
It was about before the game, we said 3 points as a must. After the game, we've achieved that, so I don't think we can ask for anything more. That was the bare minimum. I think we were extremely lucky that the fixture computer gave us St Johnstone at that time, and of course thank you to the great guys at the SPFL for moving that winter break forward. But yeah, it all just resulted in a pretty straightforward afternoon, other than a uncomfortable 20 minutes or something, Hamish, but job done, and we can now hopefully get the squad re-energised in the winter break now.
I think you're right. We've got to take ourselves back to how we felt at 11:15 when that team came out. It was a case of hello Barkas, my old friend, when that side came out, and he wasn't the only one that we were surprised to see in there. There was quite a few players, but that bench as well. Just going through the team, it was Barkas, Welsh at right back, Carter Vickers, Starfelt, Scales was in at left back, McCarthy and Beaton and Rogic was the midfield three, so no McGregor. Juranovic was on the right wing. Kyogo did, believe it or not, actually play today, and Abada was on the left. Although he was kind of playing as one of the two up top. I think it was a wee bit strange what we were doing. The bench, and by the way, the irony of Barkas finishing 2021 as Celtic's number one shouldn't be lost in any of us, but we'll come on to him in a second. That bench today, Ryan Mullen, Bolly Bolingoli, Adam Montgomery, Ismail Assoro, Joey Dawson, Ben Doak and Owen Moffat. Now from that, before the game today, Mullen, Dawson and Doak hadn't made a competitive appearance for Celtic. Moffat hadn't until 11 days ago. Montgomery very much a work in progress, I think we'd all agree. Soro has played 65 minutes in September and Bolly has played twice all season. So the first team was very much, it was a changed 11, and there was a lot of players playing out of position, and that bench had a lot of players that Celtic fans have probably never heard of, or certainly not heard much about. So it was a concerning morning. I was really, really concerned about this game. The 500 fans, no big Celtic away support, the fact that the pitch was in an awful state. So I think if we take ourselves back to how we felt at 11:30, to be coming away with 3 points today, I think is a mega achievement from the team.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think what I saw from the team that was put out, Hamish, was it was all down to the first 11 getting that result. We had no options in the bench, so we really had to rely on the team that started, making sure that we put that game to bed. And I think you can say that they did that, for the most part. Get in half-time, 2-0 up, even with Kyogo going off. I think it is a good achievement from that side, especially when the pressure of the guys coming off the bench as well, because you can imagine they were coming into that type of game if we were drawn or even, God forbid, behind or something. It's a big ask for these guys, Hamish, and you know what, I think the team that started it deserve credit, especially as well when you saw the state of that pitch, Hamish. It was a disgrace. There was never going to be any fluid, sort of nice Ange ball being played, if you will. It was just going to be a case of digging in and just getting that result, and just having slightly more talent than they had. But in the end, I think it was well and truly justified. I think we were the better team today.
You've got to laugh at Sky turning down all these amazing Celtic games earlier in the season away to
Mad.
Hibs. They didn't show a brilliant spectacle, and then today they've got that game on with 500 fans there, no atmosphere at all. They were pumping in the crowd noise, which I have not missed at all over the last 6-7 months. The pitch, as you say, was bordering on unplayable at times. I thought it was an awful pitch, and we actually did really well in the circumstances. And then I thought the game itself was just, there was one decent team trying to play and a really, really poor St Johnstone side. I just think there's an irony there that Sky are showing this game when they've missed out on so many good Celtic ones so far this season. What do you make of that thing I just had on the screen there that William was saying?
Well, it's more like 3-5-2 to start. I mean, I was surprised that we even went with... I mean, again, it says all about the options that we've got in the team as well, doesn't it, now, Hamish? But I was surprised that we even went with that sort of formation, considering St Johnstone have got nothing up front, as we saw in the first half today. And to be honest with you as well, I didn't expect... I mean, I expected Ange to still play the 4-3-3 regardless, so I did. I didn't expect him to mix anything up. I thought he'd still do his tried and tested formation, regardless of who was available, to be honest with you. Did you not?
Yeah. I mean, I need to watch the game again to work out exactly what formation we were playing. The reason I say that is Stephen Welsh did look like he was playing right back with Juranovic on the right wing, but it may have been a 3-5-2. It's irrelevant really because we got the job done. Yeah. 16 players we were missing today. 16.
It's mad.
Bain, Hart, Hazard, Ralston, Uragide, Forrest, Henderson, Johnston, McGregor, Shaw, Taylor, Turnbull, Ayeti, Dembele, Yakimakis and Jota, and Kyogo basically missing as well because he only played a few minutes. This is just I can't remember a time when Celtic have gone through a phase like this. Well, I actually can, back in January when we came back from Dubai. But in terms of some COVID, must be some COVID cases going about.
Has to be.
I've not seen that confirmed anywhere, but absolutely must be. And obviously all those injuries that we're having to contend with even prior to the whole COVID situation. So Celtic are just... We have limped over the line, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. But we are completely short of, everything at the moment. And I think it's such a credit to this team that they've found a way to win today. And apart from Wednesday night, they've found a way to win the whole of December. I actually think it's been a really productive month, everything considered, given the injuries we've had to put up with. We'll chat about the game though itself. I thought we started really well, real tempo to our play. You could tell it was a big game, a much better start I would say than some of our recent matches, and we got that early goal, and it's Liel Abada, fresh off his criticism from me the other night, and seems to have wound him up because he scores that opening goal.
Got a reaction.
Yep.
I think the perseverance of Abada was good to see. He had no right to win that ball. I was surprised, to be honest. I think it was half awful. I do have to say, hands up as well. Deplorable defending from St Johnstone, and you can see why they are where they are, because that is just, if you're a fan of them, you're losing the plot of that. Abada's got no right to win it, but from our point of view, great to see. He's really persistent, and he does well to find a way to force that in over the line. But I felt Juranovic with the ball, it was just a fantastic ball into Abada. First shot was actually well saved from Parish, but the delivery from Juranovic was exceptional. I thought I was really up my feet when I saw just the weight of the ball and just how accurate and pinpoint it was. It was on a plate for him, man.
And Kyogo does quite well as well, because I think he's offside and he actually pulls himself out of the play, and Juranovic just runs onto it. And just before that, James McCarthy presses the game really well as well. So I thought it was a really good goal that just kind of signalled that start to the game we'd had.
No, you're right, especially as well for McCarthy. I didn't feel McCarthy put a foot wrong today, to be honest. Before the game I was quite concerned, because you look at the midfield of Rogic, Beaton and McCarthy. The big thing I noted was there was no pace in the midfield. There wasn't a lot of energy in there. But again, it's fortunate that we were up against that type of team today, because they had nothing. Not only did I say up front, absolutely nothing in midfield as well, and we got to grips with it in the first 2 minutes. Hamish, we started controlling it. They couldn't get anywhere near us, but it was good for McCarthy as well to get through that, especially considering there would have been a lot of collective groans when his name was announced in that team, especially with McGregor, who usually dictates the tempo of our play and sets a pace for us. It was good for him in that respect.
I thought he looked, quite comfortable, especially in the first half. I think when you have players like Scales and Juranovic, covering the wings really well, he kind of has less running to do. He's not that mobile, McCarthy. He's very kind of I'd say he's quite a tidy player who will mop up in the middle of the park, but you don't really want to see him running out to either flank. I don't think he looks too comfortable doing that, but we kind of marshalled it quite well today. You're quite happy at that stage. We've got the opening goal, things are going well, but it wouldn't be Celtic full stop without a wee setback, and it comes in the 14th minute when Kyogo once again, I think it was a near Beaton pass or a McCarthy pass, tries to get on the end of it and can't quite manage and pulls up right hamstring once again. Was it just a case of him being rushed back too quickly?
Yeah, perhaps. And I did say as well, I think I said to somebody during the week that Kyogo's maybe worth the risk because it was a must-win game. So I'm not going to sit here and criticise Ange for that. I'm not going to say, he's out of order for rushing him back and throwing him in, because you look at it, today was 3 points and play the strongest team you've possibly got or that you can field. Kyogo is our best striker, so Andrew's had every right to field him. Hopefully it's not going to be too long term though, Hamish, and the break is coming at the best time for Kyogo as well, just for him to get some rest as well, because I think when you saw him going down, I think everyone knew, didn't they, that it wasn't just a case of he'll be back up on his feet. It was here we go again, and I think I'm just delighted that we were 1-0 up though.
Yeah, it didn't seem like anything horrendous. It didn't.
No.
I mean, I think it's more like a twinge, maybe a pull. It's certainly not a tear or anything like that, because you would know. The camera did go to him after walking up the stand, and he was limping a little bit. But I think that's just what happens. When you've warmed up for a game and then something like that happens and you don't move. I think it's the third time he's kind of been injured this season. The first time when he was out for those weeks, was that a hamstring injury as well? I feel like it was, but I could be incorrect. If I'm wrong with that, let me know in the comments. But each time, because we've been so reliant on Kyogo, and because neither Ayeti or Giakoumakis have really done it yet this season, we've wanted him to get back in the team so quickly. And he's arguably come back far too early. When you think of that Leverkusen home game, him and McGregor started that night, nobody was expecting it. You think of Sunday in the cup final against Hibs, again, no one's really expecting it. Because we're so reliant, we want to get him back in. Apparently it was a knee injury that he picked up with Japan, so that's completely shot my point.
It's not a good situation. It's not a good position to be in either. We shouldn't be over-reliant on one guy, no matter how strong, not how good he is even, no matter how strong we are. It just shouldn't be the case. We should have a fully fit squad ready to, come in and take his place and be competent, but it's just been really unlucky and unfortunate, with the positions, with the injuries, and you really hope for the second half of the season that we're not seeing anything like we have in the last couple of months. It's almost turned into parody levels whenever anyone goes down. It's at the point when Stafford went down with a collision with Chris Kane today, and I genuinely thought, here we go, he's off. But I was
was clutching his back as well.
He was as well with the overhead kick, that's right, yeah. But no, Kyogo went off at a time we were 1-0 up, and that's, what I was thankful for, because if he went off and we were still chasing a goal, that could have been really dodgy, no matter how bad they were.
Yeah, I mean, the good news now is that, as you say, we don't have a game until the 17th of January. I think that's 3 weeks and a day.
Yep.
So 22 days, and we play Hibs. So he doesn't have to be rushed back at all. There is no need to rush him back for anything. And I would argue even, I think we play Hibs and then is it Alloa. So, even if we've got options at that stage, which, even with the players that are there at the moment, you would hope that certainly Giakoumakis, you would hope he'd be back by then. Maybe Ayeti as well. And of course, I think we're all kind of expecting Celtic to bring in Dason Maeda early on in the month, so we will hopefully have options and not be quite as reliant on Kyogo. But even if he has to miss the first couple of games of after the return, more than happy for him to do that, as long as we've got other options, because we need to have Kyogo at full pelt. I know we struggle without him completely, but if we've got other options there, I'm less worried about the need to rush Kyogo back. So the break's coming at the ideal time. Just thank our wonderful wonderful people at the SPFL for sorting it out again. And we get the second goal soon after. It's a Abada again. This was a really good goal. But talk about Tom Rogic. Yeah,
Tom Rogic was fantastic. The instant control and the through ball just had the perfect weight on it, didn't it? Just for Abada. I mean, all Abada needed to do was just look up and guide it past the keeper, but that was all down to Rogic's invention and vision. I thought he was excellent for that goal. I thought in general in the first half, Tom Rogic was really, really good for us as well. But props to Abada. Took it really well. And Rogic, I mean, I think at half time, that great guy Chris Boyd was focusing more on the poor defending from St Johnstone, which I get to an extent because that's what he does anyway. But if you're a football pundit and you're there to be impartial, you talk about the good things, you talk about the positive things, especially on TV when people will be, tuning in and everything to get their opinion on it. You talk about the pass for Rogic because I thought it was just wonderful to watch, and especially on that type of pitch in a game where there wasn't going to be a lot of creative moments like that. He just provided one out of nothing. We get our second goal, and I think realistically, Hamish, that's the one that killed the game off for us completely. So that's when you knew, that was a good time to score as well, and you didn't think St Johnstone were ever going to come back from it at all.
Well, you say that, but we'll maybe come on to St Johnstone goal in a minute. Just before that, you've got a wee fan in the anti-Chris Boyd club there. Hamish, Sky need to get Boyd spoken to or sack him. He's a disgrace how biased he is. Even his colleagues are laughing at him on his biased views. Yes, do it on Rangers TV, but not on something we pay for. I doubt Rangers TV would even take him. He's that biased. He was chatting before the game as well when they brought up the whole winter break, being early, and he was just talking nonsense, just completely predictable what he was saying. And then he made some comment about why is the top flight breaking but every other league in Scotland's continuing. Well, maybe the fact that the top flight's the only league that actually has a winter break and has done for like 3 or 4 years, Chris, so maybe he just had too many sherries yesterday or whatever.
The bad thing is, there should only be one fat annoying loudmouth that everybody's talking about on this channel, and it happens to be Chris Boyd. It should always be me, Hamish. That's the sad thing here.
You do yourself down, mate. You're a wonderful contributor, and certainly not as biased as Chris Boyd. Second half though, you're probably going to have to turn into Chris Boyd a wee bit because the second half wasn't great at all. It was one frustration I've got about this Celtic team, and I'm prepared to let them off with it because of all the things that we've already said, players missing, injuries, etc. But we do seem to let teams back into games when we're cruising. We did it at Hibs to an extent. We still won 3-1 at Easter Road, but it was a game that 3-0 up, you're looking for us to go on 4-5, and we ended up just winning at 3-1. Dundee, the one we watched together, we're 2-0 up, playing brilliantly, concede a daft goal, score 2 more goals, 4-1, and then concede another daft goal. And when you see how kind of tight it is at the top and how tight it could be at the end of the season, you always wonder about stuff like goal difference and will we just regret conceding these daft goals. And also the fact that you're 2-0 up, you're absolutely cruising, and St Johnstone with their first attack score, and suddenly you're really nervous. Didn't really have any major doubts that we weren't going to win that game, but it's just kind of unnecessary a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That's why a lot of people, if they watch the game with me, and I'm furious if we haven't made it 3-0, or if people say you're exaggerating, you're going over the top there, it's not, because all it takes is one moment, just like that, as we saw. The goal came out of nothing with Chris Kane, and I got to say, it was a great header. I mean, Barkas, for all the criticism that he's taken and everything, there's even Joe Hart when I saved that. It was just a perfect header. It was self-inflicted, it was daft, but I do feel you have to credit it, especially at a time when the goal came after I put out a tweet on my personal account saying, for all Celtic have been in a position that we have hated when we've had no strikers. Can you imagine how bad it would be if we had Chris Kane and Stevie Matey to choose from? 2 minutes later that happened, so not for the first time Hamish, I went and looked like an absolute idiot. And
obviously Candy Cane, very festive as well, so great stuff there.
Oh wow.
Right, not worried at all as that game goes on. Near Beaton nets the third, and that was the real clincher. Overall performances today, now who do you want to pick out? I'll be generous seeing as it's Christmas and give you 2 players.
I've noted down 4. I wrote down Scales, Beaton, Rogic and Abada. So I will go with Beaton and Abada simply for Abada's 2 goals, and I'll say Beaton as well, not for the fact that he was the captain today. Took his goal really well. It was a really accurate finish from him, and I'm right in saying, is that now his 250th appearance for us, or was that more than 250 he's made now today? Maybe one of the.
I wasn't doing numbers.
Okay, well maybe a better analyst in the comments will be able to correct me there. But I think I'll go with Beaton and Abada today as our best performers.
Who your other two? Liam Scales was one of them.
Scales and Rogic as well, yeah. I thought Scales was really good today.
I think he's really grown in me, Liam Scales. A lot of people when he signed were kind of doing him down a little bit. I think for me, he's shown now that he's a player who can contribute in the second half of the season. Just really tidy in possession, takes the ball in really well. He's a player for me who can really challenge for that left back berth at the club in the second half of the season. I don't think he's a world beater or anything like that, but I think he's certainly a very able player who can be a good player for Celtic. So delighted with him. And I thought he had a really good game there as well. So excellent. And yeah, Rogic as well. We've already spoken. Just being able to play that well on a pitch like that, I think says a lot about Tom Rogic. I thought he was great today, but I still think there's parts of his game that he looks quite tired at the moment at times. And I think the break's coming at a great time for him and for everyone, to be honest. So I just think we're going to see a totally different Celtic after the break. We're going to have these new signings coming in who I think will, everyone's excited about Maida and Hatate especially, and I just think those two are going to add so much to this Celtic team. I think when a new player comes in, it just lifts the whole camp, it lifts the standards at the club, and I think that's going to be the case.
And it's the energy of these guys as well, isn't it, too?
Yeah, that's the thing. They're both real energetic players who are going to just suit Ange's way of playing. Apparently both of them, well, Maida's already played under Ange, so he obviously suits Ange's way of playing. And apparently Hatate's team, Kawasaki Frontale in Japan, play a really similar style as well to Ange. So these two guys, I'm expecting them both to come in and really hit the ground running. And I think they're going to be massive. But also players like, Jota is going to be back. You would assume the next time we play, certainly, and he's just probably our best player. Just an exceptional player. Hopefully Kyogo will be fully fit. Players like McGregor, who's maybe looked a little bit tired as well, Rogic, are going to be back and just revitalised, and I just think we're going to see a totally different Celtic. Thoughts on December, first of all, as a whole? I think it's just those drop points against St Mirren the other night. If we'd have won that game, you'd be absolutely delighted with what you've seen. Yeah,
I think with December we just said it was all just about a case of winning until the break, and for the most part we've done it. Yeah, St Mirren was obviously disappointing, right? But we've got over it today. The reaction today was good because we could have went and felt sorry for ourselves. We've got all these players out. Apparently all the rumours with COVID. Not even get Barkas fourth choice goalie, you say, really, wouldn't you? We've came in and we've done okay, and we've got the 3 points, and that's all. Again, the reaction was a big thing today. I mean, it would be very different if we were talking here after drop points, of course, but we're 3 points off it, and we're still in a title race, Hamish. We've already won a cup, we're still in Europe, we've got the best defensive record in the league, so for the first part of the season, considering what Ange came into, I think this Celtic team have done more than alright.
Yeah, I think it's been an excellent first half of the season. What would you rate out of 10, just to put you on the spot?
I give it a 7 just now, and that's including with the cup win. A 7, I'd say. I'd love us to get into the break top of the league. Is it would be higher in that respect, so I give it a 7. But am I not right in saying this season, get into even the international breaks, we've been behind at pretty much every point, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, we've been playing catch up since the start of the season, haven't we? Since we lost at Tynecastle, and I think this Celtic team has showed a lot of bottle in these games. Even a game like today, with all those injuries, finding a way to win that, finding a way to beat Motherwell, by a single goal, Aberdeen by a single goal, finding a way to win in Dingwall last minute. I think it was Hearts was the other one. I think we've really shown a lot of character in December. Hopefully that character continues, and I'm sure it will going forward. And we just see a bit more quality, better players in the park, and I think things should be good. Just a couple of players we haven't touched on today we should definitely mention. Joey Dawson, I thought, did quite well. Quite a kind of... I went and saw the B team a few weeks ago, or a few months ago now, and a lot of the players are really talented technically, but looked miles off it physically. ready to step into the first team. They looked miles off it physically. Joey Dawson was the one player I looked at him, big kind of strapping guy, and I thought he could come in and certainly could handle it physically. And I think we saw that today. Backed in really well. His end product, his finishing and his passing could probably do a bit of work, but that'll come. And I thought he had a really good game. And obviously, I'll give you the honour of doing our Greek god.
Oh, Barkey, of course. Yeah, well, I think I saw somebody saying online as well that, and I don't know if it was a wind-up or not, but genuinely a pub went and cheered when he caught the ball. Not only once, but he did it twice. But not without, that's obviously a patronising thing, but what I wanted to say with Barkas is I noticed a couple of times when he had the ball, he was releasing it really quickly. And it realistically, it's wasn't a high pressure game as such for Barkas, I don't think, considering he's lucky he's got a really settled and organised defence in front of him. That probably helped. And I think for the most part, before they talked all week about St Johnstone, they've got nothing up front, scored the least goals in the league. So I think even getting into this game, Barkas was a easy sort of win for him to go into. There's far worse venues he could have been involved in, games even, sorry. But no, he did okay, and he had no chance with a goal. And I don't think he's going to display sort of Joe Hart or anything like that, even after one performance. It's not going to happen, but you know what, if we've won the game and we've got nothing to moan about with Barkas, so job done.
I'll be surprised if he ever plays for Celtic again. I think that was probably his farewell match. He'll probably leave in January. I'm going with 7 as well, by the way, for the first half of the season. I think lots and lots of positives when Ange came in, and when you consider the squad that he inherited and the fact he had to sign, I think, a dozen players in the summer, how many of those players have been successes, the fact that we've won the first cup, which was a major achievement, beating some of the teams we did in that, and the fact that we're in touch at the top of the league with 2 derbies, 2 of the last 3 derbies to come at home, with the squad to be strengthened in January, with so many injuries having taken place in the first half of the season. And I think, the fact that Ange has reunited the team with the support as well can't be underestimated. So I think we're all really quite content with how things are going. We'd love to be, level at the top or 6 points clear. But I think, none of us can really complain too much about what we've seen so far. Right, but to finish, Stuart Miller with the big question of the day. Stevie, where's the jacket?
Well, I'm not going to wear the jacket indoors. It's the heating's on and everything. I'll wear it at games or at the pub and that. But I got this new one. Now my gran and granda got me the new mint one. I think that's me now. Get every Celtic Adidas. No, I'm not. Maybe when we're in the pub or something. But no. Too lazy to get up. But I'm sorry for letting you down, Stuart. But goes to show that these daft wee rituals count for nothing. We've won without this body warmer. Let's just all move on and enjoy this winter break.
Indeed, that pretty much sums up how we all feel. Listen, I hope you had a wonderful day yesterday, everyone, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the festive period. We're going to take a wee break tomorrow. Tuesday night, though, we've got a very interesting video dropping that I think you'll enjoy. Until then, we'll say goodbye, and we'll thank you once again for your support. Now, I think we're just on the verge of 23,000. I'm just checking a wee live update. We're 35 subs away from 23,000, so surely we can smash that today. So if you would mind doing that, that would be much appreciated. Take care, everyone, and hail, hail.